All right, guys, everybody, welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. So I've got Casino Smooth here with me tonight to interview, and I've been following him actually online for a while. The YouTube channel, it's Paradym Music Group. Is that right?
Yep, Paradym Music Group. You
Yep.
finally said it right because so many people say parody or parody,
You don't want it to be a parody, right?
right, Paradym.
Paradym. And more than 11,000 followers on Paradym. I think last time I saw the YouTube channel.
Yeah. 12,000 subscribers on YouTube and 12,000 on IG for followers.
Okay, I think you got 20,000 on IG, don't you?
On my personal, yeah, but
Uh,
the business one.
on Parody. You're right. You're right. I interact with you mostly on your personal IG, so my bad confusing that. So those of you guys who don't know who he is, you're not hip to him yet. Shame on you, but we're going to get you hip to him tonight. The guy's one of the main influencers in music marketing online today. I kind of already talked about his YouTube, his Instagram, his company. And from what I understand about Casino Smooth, he's got kind of this history of being ahead of the curve. He was doing influencer marketing before other people were even calling it influencer marketing or knowing what influencer marketing was.
Right.
He's helped a lot of different musicians get millions of views and lots of exposure on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok, just about every platform that exists out there. Very creative ideas, very unique strategies. And I know that because I've been watching him for a while and listening to what he does online. So kind of start out before we get into the meat of this, a couple questions about names and origin stories, because that always fascinates me, especially from another marketer.
Right.
So Casino Smooth. So are you smooth as a casino or are you smooth in the casino?
So I'm gonna make this quick. I used to be
Okay.
a rapper. My name was C Smooth. Stopped rapping, started doing the marketing side of things, business side of music marketing. Changed it to C Smooth, and then just went with Casino because I used to go to the casino all the time and play roulette or blackjack, whatever. I'm like,
Okay.
Casino Smooth sounds better,
Yeah.
transition into the business side of things. Let's go with that instead of C Smooth. So
Okay.
I don't know where I can, how the hell, why would I even do that? But I did, right?
Right.
From the creative side of me, the weird side, I don't know, the marketing side, I don't know. But
So what about Paradym Music? How did you arrive at that name for your company?
okay, so Paradym, it's like a paradigm shift, right? It means like you shift mentally when you look at things differently. So I figured like that would be the name for my music business because I wanted to do things differently. But I just twisted the words up. It's usually spelled Paradym, but I spelled it Pradym because it looks better. But yeah, there's some meaning behind that, some deepness.
Sure. I think that's a great segue. Paradigm, and you're talking about shifting a paradigm. So I want to get a little bit more of your backstory, but before I lose my train of thought, what do you think is probably the number one thing that music artists, hip hop artists in particular, might be doing wrong in the way they're approaching the music business? What is the paradigm they need to shift? Because there is, without a doubt, a greater opportunity than ever before with the internet to be independent or to get attention of a label. But where do you think most people are struggling? What's the most basic thing that you run up against or see happening?
I think they I said this before in another interview. They don't do enough research. And the reason why I say that is because going from where I started and where I'm at now, it's simple. It's like, okay, if I would have done this, advertising, promoted on YouTube the right way by, typing in certain words, like all I did was research marketing. I pretty much marketed myself for free. And then I figured out like, hey, this is how you get people to come visit your content. And this is what you have to do on the back end of things, like if they were to educate themselves and figure out just marketing, they could do a lot of this stuff themselves. But they think it's so difficult, they think it's like, or maybe they're lazy and they don't want to do it. And they're fine with being lazy because, they want to rap, like that's fine. Then pay somebody else to do it. But I feel like if they just like took the time out to like figure out how to start marketing, they can do a lot of this themselves.
Yeah. definitely.
Right.
And and I hate to say it, and I don't want to insult anybody, but I'm not sure if it's ignorance or laziness, but I get frustrated at the so you and I put out a lot of free information, a
Right.
lot of
Right.
great training and stuff, and the people still will reach out to me and how do I do this? And I'm like, well, here's a link to the video, but
I don't
how
want
do
to.
I do it?
Right. 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 Just
I'm
tell me.
like, I made a series of videos that took me
Right.
out years to learn, hours to make the videos. I put
Yeah.
it out there for free, and you won't invest 20 minutes a night watching the videos. That's frustrating to me.
Right.
And you
Right.
can't fix that. You can't work with that.
No. No.
Definitely a frustration. Um, so how did you kind of make this move into the music business, marketing side of the music business? Is it just something you were drawn there by your passion, something you stumbled on, somebody recruited you?
Right. Right. So when I moved out here to Atlanta, I used to work for like a media buying company. So they, we do radio spots, radio spots packages. We do remote packages. We go to people's businesses and have the radio truck come up. Different things like that. So I started to meet a lot of music people, and then I went to school for business, got my degree, in business, and I kind of like wanted to combine my love of the two. While learning about business, I learned a lot about the music industry, met a lot of key connects. So I'm like, man, like I can see how this side of things can go to this side, you know what I'm saying? And how I can take things to the next level. So that's how I started doing that. And then the influencer marketing thing, I had met a couple guys that were doing it for like big brands. So they'd use a big YouTuber to promote like a big shoe company or whatever. This is like 3 or 4 years ago on YouTube. And then they would say, "Hey, check out this new product I got." Blah blah blah. The link is in the description below. I'm like, wow, they sold like almost 1 million shoes doing that. Like maybe if I can do that with music. And then I started thinking, I started getting better, and then I started working with other people, and then start reaching out to YouTubers. And I was like, okay, like we can work, like just promote this guy's song and as music to your video, bam, start taking off. And then I was like, okay, well, I can get like 10,000 views, in a couple of days. Let me put a price on that, and sell it. And then I would get more YouTubers to do the same thing, and then it would just start building. So I made packages, and it got crazy. It got crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how things started. So
Okay. So if an artist came to you, um, ones that are willing to do something, put in
right,
some work,
right,
and got some natural talent, um, and let's say it's first year, or um, let's say maybe they've been at it a while, but they realize now uh, they're stagnant. They've been putting out good music, but nobody's coming, right?
right,
So they
right.
got to do something different. What kind of just give them an outline of maybe what first year should look like? Should they be working on building a social media following, their email list, building a catalog of music, getting more streams? Where do you recommend going and doing?
So as of now, they should be focused on promoting their Instagram and their YouTube. Instagram and YouTube. If you don't have visuals, just stick with Instagram because you can grow a career off music just by getting big on Instagram. Focus on one platform, and then once you have all your fans or whatever your followers, then you can tell them to go check you out on other platforms, right? I just dropped a music video, go check that on YouTube. And if you're popping on Instagram, then bam, maybe hopefully half or however many people go and check that out, and now you're growing your YouTube because you grew your Instagram.
Yeah,
I would definitely say Instagram, and then streams too. Streams are important, obviously, but that's going to come along with the Instagram. If you're promoting your IG right, and people are coming, to your page for your music, and they're going to want to check out the links on your page. So your streams should be going up because of your IG's popping.
yeah,
You know, it's hard to do that the opposite way though. Like if you're just focused on streams, I think it's. I mean, I haven't really heard a story where unless they like went viral, on Spotify. But I haven't heard anything where you promote your Spotify and then people start checking you out on Instagram. It's just it really doesn't go that way.
sure.
I think it's more so visual, and then people go check out your music.
Yep. More people are still getting discovered. When we talk about a global market, and that's something I think a lot of people forget about, but hip hop is consumed globally. It's not just a U.S. thing. Just because you're a U.S. based rapper,
Right.
doesn't mean Drake's not getting played overseas in third world countries or all around the globe. But YouTube is still the number one place that people are discovering music, without a doubt.
Right.
So
That's true. That's true.
visuals, I definitely agree with you, is a huge factor in that. I think a big common debate that's going on kind of now, and people talk about so much, is there is this great, we were talking about this before we started recording, there is this great opportunity for independent artists that exists that's never existed before because of the internet.
Right.
Opportunity to put yourself on, so everybody automatically almost thinks of Russ, or the opportunity to get the attention of labels that could never really happen before. I mean, and to do it from anywhere, right? So I mean, you don't have to necessarily move to Atlanta or New York or LA now.
Yeah.
These people are doing it from everywhere. But what is your kind of feeling on that? Do you think if you had an artist start popping because you were helping them marketing, and then they asked you for some advice, hey, I got some labels talking to me now, would you
Right.
suggest maybe they stick indie or sign with the label?
Most of them will be like, oh, I don't want to sign. I'm going to stay independent, right? If I figured it out this much, I'm just going to stay independent. But until they start getting them offers, oh, $1 million, oh, 2 million. I'm like, oh, well, I may want to, sign for 5 million. If they throw me 5 million, then, I'll sign then. They start thinking, because when big numbers get thrown at you, they start thinking. And then, I mean, I've had cases like this, and then they're like, well, I'm not going to sign unless I get 10 million. The next thing you know, the artist is signed, because it's all about money, I mean, that's access to immediate funds right there, and connections too.
Yeah.
They can get certain connections immediately as soon as you get signed. Bam, like that you would, if you stayed independent, you'd be getting connections like, oh, this month, next month. It would be a longer process, but they've already got everything kind of like planned out for you because they've been doing this for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So if you're fine with just going fast and like getting, whatever, and then do that you go with a label. But if you feel like you got a team that, already has connections and everything in place for you, just stay independent and grow slower,
Sure.
Like, don't take the 10 million, just be happy with 1 million until next year you make 4 million, you just don't know. So it's just to each his own, whatever that artist wants to do for their career,
I agree. I think it varies artist to artist. There's not a right or wrong answer. And I also agree. A lot of people just talk about the money when they talk about signing with a label. But what you said, what I think is really more powerful, is the connections.
Right.
You got label mates, right? All of a sudden now they can get you all these features. They just call up the other artist and they say, you're going to do this feature.
Right.
They tell them what to do, and then now you've got all these people that you would have had to spend a lot of money to get on your music. A lot of great things come from those connections, without a doubt.
Very true.
All right, so kind of wrap it up here, man. I don't want to keep you too long. What is something that your company specializes in? Because marketing is so wide of a net, and it's always evolving and changing. And so sometimes it's people specialize in things: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram,
Right.
Spotify, or you may have a team that's big enough that you guys do it all. Other times it's creating storytelling, narratives, branding. What is something when people are going to look for some help, they should definitely consider Paradym?
Just know that we do it all. I've had experience in everything, really. Helping do, radio campaigns, helping artists get their music in the clubs, online marketing, and like you said, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, not necessarily Twitch, but we're starting to get into that, soon. But I would say more so Instagram promotion. There's a lot that goes with growing an Instagram account. It's huge. You're not just worried about followers, it's everything when it comes to look, when you post your content, who you collab and network with, how you place your links, and there's tons of different stuff. I figured I've been doing this for a long time, so I've kind of already know what to do and not to do and how to do things on an advanced level, you know? So somebody comes to me, like they're talking to somebody that has experience and been doing like Instagram marketing for, like I've been knowing about it, but I started doing it. I cracking down hard this year because like I'd say a year ago, I was focused on YouTube. So I was growing that and I was growing good, you know? And then I was like, okay, let me focus on something else. And I focused on Instagram more. And then I started start growing that. And I started growing rapidly within, you know, whenever I started focusing on it, you know? So it just took me, I would say Instagram and then YouTube second, definitely.
Okay. So I told you I was going to save this question. We started to get into it offline or without before the recording started.
Right.
I'm curious what you think about posting frequency on Instagram in particular. So there used to be, at least from my research, so there used to be this set number of posts per day that Instagram seemed to kind of, and here's the problem. No one knows what the algorithm does, right? It's constantly changing. It's a secret. But it used to be seemed like there was a set number of posts per day that they almost kind of rewarded. Mm-hmm. If you were under it, not so much. If you went too high, you were spammy.
Right.
There was this happy medium. But I heard somebody say the other day, you can post as much as you want now because Instagram wants people to stay on the platform. So the more content you're producing, the more they're going to reward that, or et cetera. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, but I just kind of wondered what your take on it was.
Yeah. Well, the way this new algorithm is set up, I don't know if they want you to post more or just create more engaging content, right? Like, I don't know. They'll have posts that show you 5 hours ago, that'll be 5 hours ago. I'm like, where are my posts from 5 minutes ago, you know? And
right.
Then they're taking the likes away. So it's like, what are we doing? I don't know. But I'm just kind of waiting until things level out to see, you know, how to interact with Instagram, right? It used to be you can not post for a week and still be good, right? Nowadays, it seems like you got to post every day.
Yeah.
Something, you know, like otherwise, because after, like, if you post something on YouTube, like people watch old YouTube videos all the time, right? Months ago, from years ago, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're still getting views. If you go on Instagram, we post something, you know, it's 2 months old. Nobody's really going to check that because after 48 hours, the post dies, right? The interaction on the post dies. So Instagram is a lot different than YouTube when it comes to, you know, people like checking out your content and engaging with it. I mean, every once in a while you have people go back, you know, your old posts, but it's not like they can find this anywhere. You got to keep posting content to stay, you know, visible and on top of things, you know? So.
Yeah, those are great points. Great points. And you know, that's the reason why, if you're watching this, and we give out tons of free information. We want you to learn all these techniques to help yourself. Both of us, I know, have a passion to see artists become successful. But one of the reasons you want to hire somebody like Paradym Music is because these things are constantly changing.
Right.
So if it's not your professional gig and you're a musician and just about the time you figure out how to do Instagram, they're going to switch it up. And then when you figure out YouTube, there's going to be a new thing that comes out. And so that's why you got to spend the money for a professional to help guide you. And that's one of the problems. Listen, I've got more courses on my hard drive than anybody I know. I've spent almost as much on courses I had my college education. But the problem I have with these people selling $1,000 and $5,000 courses, and I'm a course maker, but part of the problem I have is you spend $1,000 on a course, and man, in 6 months, that could be outdated information. So you've got to get some type of connection or working relationship with somebody somewhere, somehow, that's going to stay up on the cutting edge things and be able to keep you hip to it and working with it because it's constantly changing.
Right.
Without a doubt. All right, well, tell everybody where they can connect with you at.
All right, guys. Find me on Instagram, Casiino Smooth. Is that the echo still? Wait a minute. Let's see. Find me on Instagram, Casiino Smooth, Casiino with 2 I's, and then YouTube, Paradym Music Group, or just type in Casiino Smooth. music marketing, viral music marketing. My name should pull up on YouTube for those 2 topics. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys. ParadymMusicGroup.com for all your promotional and educational needs. Casino Smooth. Let's get it.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Giving me your time tonight. And any other time you want to come back and you got some new gems to drop or something you want to kind of whet the appetite with everybody for, let me know. I'd be glad to put you back on, man.
All right, Gringo. Hopefully this this playback doesn't give echo or anything.
Oh, the echo. I saw some of the people on Instagram there complaining about it. I'm hoping it's not that way on the computer.
Right. Well, I appreciate it, Gringo. Thank you.
No problem. See you later, bud.
All right. Yeah.